That was so genuinely genuine. Stop going forward!
You gotta go forward, ma. Estás muy atrás. Go forward para que se vea la luz. Ahí está, así mero. Ponte bien para poder regular bien esta madre.
Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Welcome back to another video. Today we are sitting down and making this part 2 of the video of how me and Augie met.
And if you haven't seen the first video, if you haven't seen part 1, then I recommend you pause the video right here and go check out part 1.
Which will be linked down below in the description box.
This is just the story of when we broke up and how we got back together.
So let me just sit down and just say that we actually sat down to film this video a couple days ago, and this is why it took so long for it to go up. I've been working like I always do, and then the one time we sat down to film it, it was horrible. Like our eyes were so red because we were so tired. We tried filming it like at 9 at night.
I was like 10.
It was just late, we were tired, we were annoyed, so you could just tell it was kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
Like me and Augie were just not going in order.
Yeah.
And so that's why we wrote it down this time, because we have a habit of not planning our videos completely. At least something like this, I feel like you have to sit down and plan it. So if you saw the first part, you saw that we met in high school. That's it. We met in high school. We were dating for 6 months. Everything was so good with us. And after 6 months,
we had a fallout.
I had a fallout mainly. It was me who was the problem, because I just wanted to be with my friends. That's all I really cared about at the time. I was enjoying senior year, my second semester, where prom was coming around, grad night was coming around, I was getting ready to graduate, and my friends were just the ones I wanted to be with all the time.
Were my thing.
They were my thing.
They were my priority.
Shout out to my old friends.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
As soon as high school ended, they completely...
No, there's a reason to that too.
They disappeared completely.
There's a reason.
I know there is.
So I started telling Agustin that I wasn't, for some reason I was telling him that I needed space, that I didn't feel like we were working out, but that wasn't the truth. Like, I had other thoughts, yeah. And I remember just saying like, damn, am I really gonna break up with him? Like, I didn't have the guts to do it. Like, before I did it, obviously, because I still did it. But I just remember thinking like, am I really gonna do this? Like, I contemplated it for like a week before I even started telling you the truth. And so finally I told him like, I don't think we're working out. Like, I just thought I was gonna get off the hook so easy. Like, oh, this guy's just gonna be like, all right, that's fine. Like, oh, I spit. So Augie, being the person, well, obviously that always cared, he was just trying to make it work. And I just kept pushing him away. I started being really cold with him. And we supposedly, I remember we had worked it out, but that's not what I wanted, and you wouldn't just let me go.
Oh, yeah.
So finally, like, pues ya salió todo. Like, we were según good, and then that day after school, I started being cold again, and you're like, what's wrong? Like, didn't we just talk about this last night?
Yeah. Like, I was like, wait, didn't we fix it? Like,
right. Why are you
like,
still being like this?
Like, it still feels like we're not fixed, you know.
Right.
It's just, I did have a rough time trying to accept that she no longer wanted or didn't want anything to do with me, because then there was obviously something wrong that I was doing or we were doing, I don't know. So that's why I was like, you know, there has to be a cause, a reason. It can't just be just cause. Like, so I knew that there was obviously something wrong. I knew that there had to be someone else, which...
And if there wasn't...
I couldn't get through my head.
And if there wasn't, there had to be a reason.
Yeah.
But there was no reason.
Yep.
So dun dun dun. Yeah, finally, at the end, I couldn't keep it in just because he kept insisting on knowing. Okay, the night of, I remember Augie crying.
You fucking gonna mention that?
And, well, because that night, like, I already knew you cared for me, and, like, even if I broke up with you, like, I knew you were different as a guy. And when I heard you, like, choke up, was you don't really hear guys choke up or like
only real men
cry. And when I heard you cry that night, like, well, you weren't even like crying. You were like, you stood quiet and like, I was like, holy shit, like, I didn't even know what to say. Like, I'm getting sweaty like last night with the movie. Okay, so that night we were on the phone, and this was the last night we talked because he was still trying to figure out what was going on, and he wanted to get to the bottom of why I was acting the way I was.
Well, it wasn't fully the last night because we had some nights still prior to that night. It was the night of Valentine's Day, which is a funny thing that Valentine's Day, for some reason in our life, in our relationship,
has never worked out.
It's always been something very weird, very, very interesting about February the 14th, Valentine's Day.
Till this day.
Yeah, till this day. It all started that February the 14th, that one Valentine's where...
Our first Valentine,
yeah. Valentine's Day came and we got home from school, so everything was planned out. We were supposed to go to the movies and go bowling, and well, that didn't really turn out because it was like 4:30, and that's when I was telling her, like, are you ready? Are you gonna be ready? Are you gonna be able to go out? Have you asked your parents for permission that we're gonna go out? And she was like, no, I haven't. 6:30 comes around. I texted her, are you ready? Or we can pick you up and we can head out. She replied, honestly, I don't think I'm gonna be able to go out tonight. I haven't tried to ask my parents because something, I don't know.
They're gonna say no.
Yeah, because they're gonna say no. That's what she was saying. I was like, since when the hell do your parents say no? Like right off the bat, like that right there wasn't right. It was kind of fishy. I was like, something isn't right. And that's when I called her. She wasn't answering the first two calls, and I called again, and she didn't answer. And I was like, why aren't you answering? Pick up the fucking phone, blah, 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 blah. Like, I was getting pissed at this point. I was getting mad. Around 8:30, she called me, and then that's when she told me, like, we have to talk, this and that.
And yeah, and that's when Agustin was asking me what was going on. But I just remember that phone call, and finally, he kept asking me, like, tell me what's really wrong, like, and so I eventually, like, told him, like, look, you asked me, didn't you? Like, is there someone else?
That night, we talked, and that's when she dropped a bomb on me, saying, you know what, I'm not feeling it. And that's when I was like, okay, well, let's work it out. Like, don't just throw it in the trash like nothing happened, like we didn't work for this shit. Because, I mean, that's how I felt, at least. That night happened, we clicked, and we left it in where, because I told her, like, let's work it out. Give me a chance. Don't just fucking end it.
Slam the door in my face.
Yeah, don't just, yeah. So basically that's what I told her. That's what I asked from her. Let's just work it out. Let's see how it goes this week. Let's take it slow. So we did. She did. She was like, okay, well, we'll see. A ver, whatever. Like, she was just not interested.
So, okay, now my own story, I'm confused. So February 14th happened when I told you that I wasn't feeling it. Then after that was the 3 days after.
Yeah, when we were going to school still, I would still go and see her after school.
How did it feel when you stopped going to see me?
Oh, it was bad.
Like, damn, I'm not going to Oak Hills. Like, I'm going.
It was bad.
Home.
It was fucking sad. I don't even want to talk about it.
You've never told me.
No me beses, cabrona. Ow, ma. Chill out. Okay, pues, okay.
So then from there, it went to 3 days after. Within those days, we were still kind of trying to work it out.
Yeah, we were still seeing each other after school.
In the back of my head, like, I knew what I wanted at the end of the day. Like I didn't want to continue the relationship. And because I didn't have the guts I didn't have the guts to just break it off, like, tell him straight up. So I kept leading him on for the next couple days until finally, that's when we had
the second night.
We had actually fixed things, and that's when I continued to be the cold self that I was, and that's when you were like, okay, like, what is going on? So you eventually got frustrated and just was like, tell me the truth. So that's that night that was that one night where
the second phone call.
Eventually, he just asked me, like,
is there someone else?
Is there someone else? And I stood quiet, and then I was like, yeah.
Damn, that bitch said straight up, yeah. Yeah, like there's someone else.
Oh my gosh.
Shit, that was fucked up.
I remember like you were just like, okay, like, so we're done. Like, I just remember it being super quiet, and Augie stopped talking, and I don't remember if you like, because there was a reason why I knew you kind of had like cracked up, because I don't know if you tried to say something or you sniffed, like you sniffled, like, and you went like, and that's how I knew he was crying. Yeah, your voice cracked, and I was like, holy shit, this is real. Like, I really broke this guy's heart. I was really sad about it. I was actually like sad that I was hurting him, because I knew he was a really nice guy. So then from there, where's my guide? So then from there I did actually mention the name of the guy to him.
Yeah, because on the phone, that's when I told her, like, damn, because she told me, obviously she confirmed to me, like, well, yeah, there's another guy. And then I was like,
you're like, I knew it, you bitch.
I was like, so who is it?
Who is it?
She was like in disbelief, like, did he really just ask me who the guy is?
Me and this guy, we actually didn't even end up being anything. He took me out, he asked me out to his prom. I went to his prom. It was horrible. Like, after that, like, I wasn't feeling it. We never really did, like, became more than friends. Like, we were really just friends. And so yeah, that ended. So after that, we started seeing I started seeing someone else.
Yeah, because the guy that she left me for didn't even work out.
So my friends were friends with his friends. So keep in mind, I was a senior, they were juniors. I had a lot of friends that were in the junior class. And since they all knew each other, I had gone home one day and Augie had came to to my high school after school. And I just remember one of my friends at the time, I seen that they post, I don't know where they put, but I saw a picture of you like that day.
It was at the parking lot.
Right, it was at the parking lot. And I just remember like my friend being like, dude, like he looks so different. And I was like, what? And I think she took a picture of you and sent it to me. That's like, I want to say that that's how I saw that picture. And I was like, in my head, I really was like, damn, like, he looks so good. Like, he looks different. But that's it. Like, I never tried to tell him.
The only difference was that I changed my...
And you were going to the gym.
Yeah, well, I was already going to the gym previously. Like,
no, right,
so
but that's when you, like...
I got even more
That's when
bulkier.
I was like, holy shit, like...
Yeah, I got bulkier,
so
and because I was wearing a tank top that day, too. And I changed my hairstyle from spiky to a stupid mohawk.
With little lines.
Yeah, and...
Can we insert a pic?
If we find it.
But yeah, so then that's when everything happened. After that second relationship didn't work out for me, that's basically like when I kind of had like a meltdown, because...
Like a life crisis.
Like a life crisis, because I lost all of my friends. Everything I just felt like lonely, and honestly the first person, which is kind of bad because it was kind of like, I wrote to him when I was at like my lowest point after I left him for these people. You get what I mean? So literally the first person, right? The first person I thought of when everything came crashing down was him. That's when I started adding you back on social media, because you had unblocked me already.
Oh yeah. When I had made peace with myself.
And then I came back like, whoosh, I'm back.
Yeah.
So that's when I came back to him, and basically everything just kind of happened very slowly, but it was like the way it was supposed to be. And let me tell you, when you break up with someone, it's...
Well, don't get discouraged.
Right,
but at the same time, don't force something that...
Right.
That...
I feel like you obviously had hope for us, like...
No.
No?
No.
Well, when we first broke up, like you...
No, I made peace with myself, but...
Whether we end up...
Yeah, and then that's it. Like, you know what? It's done, and whatever happened, and we gotta move on. You know, life is life, you gotta move on. But it's better to move on without leaving any grudges with you in your heart, because then that's what really will drag you and will fuck up your life. So
relationships.
Yeah,
like
so that's what I was like, you know what, I'll just leave it here, make peace with myself, and I'll forgive her, and I won't hate her. I'll leave a special place in my heart for her. That's it.
So when I came back, Augie had depression again.
So basically, when she started to look for me again, I was I didn't want to like really have anything to do with her anymore. I was like she's coming like
I just got over. Like,
yeah, like I had just gotten over with her, and I finally like felt like peace. I was free and I was and in peace with myself. So I was like, fine, I'll write back to her, whatever, and
because I was like, hey, how are you?
Yeah,
the audacity.
She was very insisting a lot. You were very insistent.
Yes, but didn't I tell you about my problems? Like what had happened?
Yeah, you did. You had told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember you came over. Like that's when you started. Like we were kind of cool, and like I was able to tell you, and you came. Like you were there. Like
that one day that I went over to.
We saw each other for the first time.
Yeah, we had seen each other again for the first time again after a while. That's when like the whole everything kicked back in, like the whole like
emotion,
wanting to like her again, like it just sucked back in, especially after seeing her, and then you looked pretty that day too.
I don't remember.
You looked pretty that day. I remember. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, cause like I had just like completely removed her out of my life for good, but yet she's here again, like So I went home that night, and we were like, cool, and like, okay, cool, like, and we said goodbye to each other. I went home, and yeah, like life kind of just spun. It did like a whole 360 again, and yeah, I got super fucking emotional again. Like I was so confused, like fuck, like I don't know what to do. I was so confused. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like
is this happening?
Yeah, like
again?
Like it just I worked so hard to get rid of her.
You worked so hard to get me first, and then you worked so hard to like get rid of me, and then here I am. I had to work so hard to not hate me.
Yeah, so like fuck. Yeah, that night was kind of bad. Then I woke up the next morning and kind of analyzed everything. I had to once again make peace. I had to say, you know what?
If this is meant to be, it'll be.
It's cool. Like let's push the shit aside and let's just start fresh.
Right. Agui was very, very short with me at the beginning.
It was very cold. And,
I would text him and like with so much excitement, like hoping that he would be the person that I was talking to before. It wasn't like that, but I also had to understand what we had gone through and what I had put him through. So I was like, it doesn't matter. Like as long as he texts me back, like I don't care. So it was like you would try to make conversation because you wouldn't leave me like on blank, but it was nothing like how when we first started talking, like it was colder. He would give me a whole explanation, but it was blunt. So, but then after that, it just started falling into place. We took about 2 months after that. It took us a while to get back together to make it official, which was really nice. It was a bumpy road, and like everything happens for a reason, and sometimes you learn the hard way, but honestly, I don't see it. Like I wouldn't change a thing.
I think that's one of the reasons why it made us as good and solid and strong in our relationship now. After that we continued dating for the next 3-4 years, 5 years I think.
It was a while until we got engaged.
And then that's when I proposed to her, and back in 2016 I decided, okay, I think it's time.
Then we moved in together.
Yeah, that we push forward and with life, and I said this is the person I want to really push my life with and everything. So I proposed to her December 24th, midnight.
It was technically the 25th.
Yeah, well, I like to think it's 24th.
But it's not.
Because we celebrate the 24th instead of the 25th.
We celebrate the 24th, but we
Christmas
still open
Eve.
gifts the 25th.
Yeah, like once it hits 12 a.m.
midnight.
So that's when I proposed to her in front of my whole family and in front of my uncles, brothers, cousins.
Everyone was there.
My grandma and everything. So it was special, and that's that house right there was my uncle's house, and that's the house where we also got married. That's the house where we also decided to do our wedding. It was
also,
cool.
If you have never ever watched our wedding video, it will be linked down below in the description box because it is beautiful, I may say.
In this story, it's like you were the guy, I was the girl. Like she was the male, I was the female.
I was the pimp.
Because I mean, like, usually in stories like these, you would expect the guy to be the douche and the fuck up, and the girl being the hurt one, the broken heart, and blah blah blah. Well, no, ladies and gentlemen, that's not how it works. Things are different in real life, and guys have hearts too.
But always, no matter what, at the end of the day, if it's a guy or a girl, at the end of the day, if you stop being selfish and you come to your senses, you will always realize who was the one who cared the most. Like, I feel like if we have never broken up, I would have never acknowledged how much
appreciation
you were worth. Like, yeah, like, no, well, how much you were worth, because that's when I realized, when I lost all my friends and like my relationship didn't work out, or like guys I was talking to didn't work out, like you realize like there was a person that I had already that showed me everything and like would give anything for you, but you let that go, and thank God like I came in time, you know, like we were meant to be. So, and
we were just kids.
I know.
We were just kids. We were just teenagers. For those of you out there that have had problems like these, or you know, with relationship problems, like
whether you're older or younger,
yeah, whether you're young, you're older. I mean, it's the same. Love doesn't have barriers. It has a way of playing out.
I never, since we broke up, ever pictured us back together. Like it wasn't ever a thought in my head. So for things to play off on their own, like to just play off on their own, and things are gonna be the way they're supposed to be, you just have to let that play off on its own. Like,
I think we're ready to be relationship consultants, right?
But dude, that's it for this video. We really hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you guys like the tea, because
yeah, it's a big ass tea.
Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you did like it. Make sure to turn on your post notifications so that you get notified every time we post a new video and you don't miss a video. And we're trying our best to upload, but it's so hard. So just please be patient with us.
We're trying to upload once a week, okay? Once a week. That's what we're trying to do.
So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys in our next video.
Bye.
Okay, 1,
2, 3. Whoa.